Hello NCAC Nation, and welcome back to another edition of The Rundown. On this week's show, we'll catch up on what's trending from around the North Coast Athletic Conference for the week ending on Sunday, January the 18th. With NCAC schools now fully entrenched into the winter sports season, we'll open this week's show on the indoor track and field circuit as 6 of the league's 9 schools were in action last week. Wabash kicked off the home portion of its indoor schedule with its annual, non-scoring, Robert H. Johnson Little Giant Invitational. After racking up 20 top 5 finishes at the event, the Little Giants swept this week's slate of NCAC Weekly Men's Awards. Junior Fabian House collected the award for distance and middle distance events after winning the 1-mile run in a time of 4:19:12. While senior Ronnie Postauer collected the award for sprint and hurdle events after winning the 60-meter hurdles in 8.14 seconds and finishing second in the 200-meter dash in a time of 23:88. And finally, senior thrower Derek D. St. Jean scored a pair of top 2 finishes by winning the weight throw with a toss of 54 feet, 6 3/4 inches, and finishing second in the shot put with a heave of 48 feet, 7 1/4 inches. NCAC squads will return to the track this weekend with several events on the schedule, highlighted by Denison hosting its annual lid lifter meet on Saturday afternoon. And we'll now head over to the arena and take a quick look at NCAC basketball action. On the men's side, 10th-ranked Worcester picked up 2 wins last week and drew even with 23rd-ranked Ohio Wesleyan at the top of the league standings with identical 7-1 marks against league foes, while Wabash and Allegheny round out the top 4 at 6-2 and 5-3 respectively. And on the women's side, nationally ranked DePaul holds a perfect 8-0 record at the midway point of the season, with Ohio Wesleyan checking in at second at 5-2, and the quadrant of Allegheny, Denison, Kenyon, and Oberlin tied for third with identical 4-3 records against conference foes. After leading DePaul in a pair of league wins last week over Ohio Wesleyan and Wittenberg, senior guard Savannah Trey's collected the NCAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week award. Trey's, a native of Libertyville, Illinois, scored 34 of her 44 points on the week in the second half, including pouring in all 20 of her points against Wittenberg on Wednesday in the second stanza in a 63-54 victory for the DPU Tigers. And on Saturday, Trees led all scorers with 24 points in the Tigers' 68-53 victory over Ohio Wesleyan. In the 2 games combined, Trees shot 56% from the field to go along with tallying 10 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 assists. NCAC women's basketball teams return to the hardwood this week with 4 league games each on Wednesday and Saturday, highlighted by Ohio Wesleyan traveling to Oberlin on Wednesday night and Denison hosting Ohio Wesleyan on Saturday. And in men's hoops action, Allegheny senior shooting guard Josh Valentik was named the NCAC Player of the Week after he erupted for 54 total points in a pair of Gator wins last week against Oberlin and Denison. He reached the 27-point mark in both games, with 18 of his 27 against Oberlin coming in the second half and 20 of his 27 against Denison coming in the first half. Valentik, who hails from Washington, Pennsylvania, sealed the victory against the Big Red on a jumper with just 109 left on the clock to close out the game's scoring. And in both games combined, he scored 54 points after shooting 57% from the field, 54% from three-point range, and 88% from the free throw line. NCAC men's basketball continues this week with 5 games each on Wednesday and Saturday, highlighted by DePaul hosting Wabash on Wednesday and Ohio Wesleyan traveling to Denison on Saturday. And as always, NCAC sports fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can visit our website at www.northcoast.org. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. Well, that puts a wrap on this week's show, but be sure to join us again next week for another edition of The Rundown.